I'm John Christ, and I'm a follower of Jesus. I grew up in Long Island and grew up Catholic, and I refer to myself as a recovering Catholic. When I was 18, I was down in North Carolina looking at colleges with my mother. I just got my license, and I hadn't been to church in probably a month, and we were driving back. I just got my license. I drove all the way from North Carolina to here, and then I was living in New York, and then went to church here, the Catholic church, and then went up to New York, and 5 minutes from my house, I get in a totaled car. I didn't like God a whole lot, and I drifted from that. I broke away. And with all of my reading, I guess you would consider me a pagan at the time. After that, I was smoking weed and for a couple years, and I was really into the environment, and all of that was my religion. Flash forward, I get to have a series of events. A person that was very instrumental in my life, he passed. Next year, my mom passed. Next year, my dad passed. Next year, my wife passed. So I was thrown in a pretty big hole. I didn't like God much at all. At the time, I didn't see that all of those turning points in my life, he was there. There were little things that were keeping me grounded. And little by little, he took all that away. But I kind of had this image where I'm like this little kid standing on the edge of a black abyss, kicking stones, where the picnic is behind you. You're just kicking stones, and God's there with his hand on my shoulder, keep me from stepping off. He didn't pull me back, but he kept me from stepping off. So I kind of went away from faith for a while and had some things happen, and came back and was introduced to a new way of looking, was reintroduced to Jesus, or introduced to Jesus for the first time. I guess what I'm doing to grow in my faith right now is continuing to study, continuing to read, and working on how do I spread the gospel. And that's going beyond church, because it's all applicable to our everyday lives. So how do I, with the way society is these days, how do I spread that word to an audience that is not necessarily receptive? So I don't know, it kind of scares me. And it's me stepping out, for me, doing that is completely going against me doing this is going against who I am. I'm not the guy in front of the camera. I'm normally the guy behind the camera. What I'm hopeful for is direction. I'm hopeful for more of a certainty in course of action, clarity. I don't know, I don't have a clue what the future holds. All I know is I need to take this step, the next step, and the next step. I'm hoping that it will become clearer. I'm hoping that the Lord will use me to help other people. I guess the Lord can use my story to help people, to give hope to those that are going through some things that they don't think there's any hope for. I was there for a lot of that. I never, there were things that I haven't done and I've led a pretty good life. But I know despair. And I know what it's like being on the edge. And, God's here. So if somebody feels stuck with where they are in their faith, I think what helped me was to be around people that are further along the path. We're all on a journey. We're all on a path. We don't know where anybody else is on that path. But like Sam has said, when you're in front of somebody or behind somebody, and take comfort in that and reach. You gotta run. We have a duty to seek out God because He's there, and looking around how you can help. I think the more we step out and open our eyes, we see opportunity. We see people that could use a good word, could use a little hope.